Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to all of you. Welcome to SWA Education, myself Radha, and today we are going to discuss about meat and meat product spoilage as well as foodborne disease. So we already discussed about characteristics of microorganism, morphology, structure and detection of bacteria as well as yeast and mold in food and spore and vegetative cell, microbial growth and death kinetics and food spoilage specifically in case of milk and milk product. And today we are going to target about food spoilage in case of meat and meat product as well as foodborne disease. So let's start with our today's lecture. So what is contamination? Healthy inner flesh of meat have been reported to contain few or no organism, although they have been found in lymph node, bone marrow and even flesh. Staphylococci, Streptococci, Clostridium and Salmonella have been isolated from the lymph node of red meat animal. So normal slaughtering practice would remove the lymph node from edible parts. Approved humane method of slaughter, mechanical, chemical, electrical, have little effect of contamination, but each method is followed by sticking and bleeding, which can introduce contamination. So when we are studying about that about the meat, so during the slaughtering practice, somehow removal of the lymph node will be done from the edible part, but Staphylococci, Streptococci and other microorganisms have been isolated from the lymph node of red meat animal, but each method is followed by sticking and bleeding, which can introduce contamination in case of meat. So that the basic reason that why meat spoilage will be seen. So the important contamination come from the external sources during bleeding, handling and processing. Source of contamination may be knife, cloth, air and clothing of worker, because they are presenting in the free environment and microorganism already present in free environment. So these can be the source of contamination in meat, and during handling of meat, box, container, air and other contaminated meat, during bleeding, skinning and cutting, main source of microorganism are the exterior of the animal and intestinal tract. In the market, knife, saws, cleaver, slicer, grinder, chopping block, scales and container. In home, refrigerator, previously used container used to store meat. So when we are used any container for the storage of the meat, so it is possible somehow that microorganism should present in that container, and if microorganism present in that container, then of course they will contaminate our meat and meat product as well. And growth of organism on surface touching the meat and on the meat themselves increase their number. So these are the main source that are responsible for the contamination of meat and meat product. Next one is important isolated microorganism from meat. First one is fresh and refrigerated meat. So microorganism that we can isolate from fresh and refrigerated meat is bacteria, mainly Pseudomonas, Aeromonas, Micrococcus and Alkaligenes. And Cladosporium, Geotrichum and Mucor, these are the mold that we can isolate. And Candida, Torulopsis and Rhodotorula, these are the yeast mainly that we can isolate from the fresh and refrigerated meat. Processed and cured meat. So bacteria that can be present is Lactobacillus and other lactic acid bacteria, Micrococcus and Staphylococcus, Penicillin, Aspergillus and Rhizopus mold, and Candida, Torula and Torulopsis bacteria. So that important isolate microorganism from the meat in fresh and refrigerated meat and processed and cured meat. So this is very important and you have to mug up that portion. Next one is spoilage. Raw meat is subjected to change by its own enzyme by microbial action, and it may be oxidized chemically. All kind of microorganism which cause spoilage can grow under favorable condition, like invasion of tissue by microorganism. Upon the death, invasion of the tissue by contaminated microorganism take place. Means they can invade inside the tissue. Factors that influence the invasion include the load of gut of the animal. More the load, greater the invasion of the tissue. Invasion means entry of that microorganism in cell or inside the tissue. The psychological condition of the animal immediately before slaughtering. If animal is excited, feverish bacteria is more likely to be enter in the tissue of that particular animal, and a microorganism entered inside the body of that animal, so that can cause spoilage of meat. And the method of killing and bleeding. Better sanitary, the bleeding better would be the keeping quality of meat. Rate of cooling. Rapid cooling will reduce the rate of invasion of tissue. Factors that influence the growth of microorganism to cause spoilage are as follows. First one is kind and amount of contamination with microorganism, that how much quantity and what type of microorganism is present in that particular meat. That is also a factor that influences the growth of microorganism to cause spoilage in the meat. Second one is the physical property of meat. Amount of exposed surface of the flesh influence on the rate of spoilage. Next one is the chemical property of meat. Means moisture content, pH, temperature. So that are also the factors that influence the growth of microorganism to cause spoilage. Next one is the availability of oxygen and temperature. General type of spoilage of meat. So now we are going to study about spoilage under aerobic condition as well as in anaerobic condition. Aerobic condition means in the presence of oxygen, how meat can spoil, and in the absence of oxygen as well. So in the presence of oxygen, first one is the surface slime, that is the reason, which may be caused by species like Pseudomonas, Leuconostoc, Bacillus, etc. Temperature and availability of moisture influence the kind of organism causing surface slime. So temperature and type of microorganism, these are the factors that cause spoilage under aerobic condition. Next one is the change in the color of meat pigment. That how the meat pigment changes, how the color of meat pigment can change. So the production of oxidizing agent cause change in red color of meat to shade of green, oblique, brown and grey. Let's suppose when you cut an apple and keep it in aerobic condition, so the change of that apple, so there is a change in the color of that apple as well. It changes into brownish color. In the same way, when we keep meat into the open environment or in the free environment, so there is an oxidizing agent that can cause change in the red color of meat to shade of green, brown and grey. By the help of several kind of bacteria, it can be lactobacillus as well. Next one is the change in the fat. So fat can be saturated or unsaturated. So the oxidation of unsaturated fat in meat take place chemically in air and may be catalyzed by light and copper. So oxidation of unsaturated fat in meat take place chemically by the help of chemical, as well as it can be catalyzed. Catalyzed means it can be increased by light and copper. Lipolytic bacteria may cause lipolysis. Lipolysis means lipolysis is made up of two words, lipid plus lysis. Means breakdown of fat or lipids by the help of lipolytic bacteria. Next one is the spoilage under anaerobic condition. Anaerobic condition means in the absence of oxygen. Facultative. So there are two terms. One is obligative, second one is facultative. Facultative means not always. Facultative and anaerobic bacteria are able to grow within the meat under anaerobic condition to cause spoilage. Terminology used in connection with this spoilage is souring. Souring, the term implies a sour odor. This odor be caused by foaming, acetic, butyric, propionic and higher fatty acid or other organic acid like lactic acid. And the vacuum packed meat, especially those in gas tight, Wrapper commonly support the growth of lactic acid bacteria. So, there is a change in the odor of that particular food due to the presence of foaming, acetic, butyric, propionic and other organic acid. Next one is action of meat on enzyme during ripening. Means during ripening there is an action of enzyme that can cause food spoilage, anaerobic production of fatty acid and proteolysis without putrefaction caused by anaerobes. Next one is putrefaction. True putrefaction is the anaerobic decomposition of protein with the production of smelly compound. Decomposition of protein means proteolysis. It is usually caused by the species of Clostridium. But facultative bacteria may cause putrefaction in its production by species of putrefacians, Putrefacium, chiefly in the genera Pseudomonas and Alcaligenes. Gas formation accompanies putrefaction by Clostridia, the gases being hydrogen and carbon dioxide. So this is the method that is basically used for the decomposition of the protein by the help of certain kind of species like Clostridium, and it can be facultative bacteria. Facultative bacteria means not always anaerobic bacteria, but somehow they show anaerobic bacteria like condition, and they also cause putrefaction means decomposition of protein by the help of several kind of genera or the species of microorganism. Next one is taint. This word is implied to any off taste or we can say off odor. The term bone taint is implied to putrefaction. So it means off taste or off odor. Means change in taste or change in odor by these two methods, putrefaction and souring. Next one is food-borne illness. Means it consists of three words. Food-borne means the reason of disease become the food or the microorganism that present in the food. So food-borne illness is a common, costly, sometimes life-threatening, yet largely preventable public health problem. How it is caused? What is the reason behind it? Many outbreak and individual case of foodborne illness result from consuming the two most common type of foodborne pathogen like Salmonella and Listeria or E. coli, and viruses such as norovirus or hepatitis A. So directly or indirectly, if we consume these microorganisms through our food, so we can suffer from foodborne disease or foodborne poisoning or illness as well. What are the symptoms? Symptoms range from relatively mild to very serious, or it can be life-threatening as well. What is at risk? Who is at risk? Anyone can get a foodborne illness, but some people have a higher risk. For example, people having low immunity, older people, young children and pregnant women. Food poisoning. First one is food intoxication, second one is food infection. Food intoxication can be caused by bacterial food poisoning, that is called bacterial food intoxication, food bacteria, that is namely called bacterial food intoxication, and fungal food poisoning, that is mainly called myco-intoxication, and algal food poisoning, that is called phyco-intoxication. So food poisoning, if caused by bacteria, that is known as bacterial food intoxication. If it is caused by fungus, then it is known as myco-intoxication, and if the main organism is algae, then it is known as phyco-intoxication. So the example of bacterial food poisoning is botulism. For example, Clostridium botulinum that can cause that is a neurotoxin that can cause neuronal problems. Next one is staphylococcal poisoning that can be caused by Staphylococcus aureus. Example of fungus is mushroom poisoning, and algal is fish poisoning. Next one. So it is a list that is very important according to foodborne disease, so you have to mug up this list as well. So salmonellosis disease is mainly caused by Salmonella typhimurium as enteriditis. Incubation period 8 to 48 hours and it is enterotoxin. What is enterotoxin? Enterotoxin is basically caused by gram. Mainly enterotoxin is related to enterocytes. For example, cholera toxin, that is also responsible for it, that is caused by Vibrio cholera. How it can cause when Vibrio cholera enter into the body of an organism, then it directly attack onto the enterocyte or in the intestine of that individual, and by the help of GM1 receptor that cholera toxin enter inside the body of a human, and that can undergo endocytosis and then retrograde transport, and then it can cause ADP ribosylation and activate adenylate cyclase and release CMP that can cause diarrhea condition as well. Second one is Campylobacteriosis. Campylobacter jejuni is the organism that can cause this disease. And major food involved is milk, poultry product and water. Next one, Listeriosis, L. monocytogenes, meat product, especially pork and milk. Next one is diarrhea and colitis, and the main microorganism behind it is Vibrio cholera. It is a type of enterotoxin because mainly it affects on enterocyte. How? Vibrio cholera act as a toxin, or we can say ligand, and in intestine GM1 receptor is present, and this Vibrio cholera can enter by the help of this GM1 receptor into the intestine of human being, and then it causes retrograde transport, means from Golgi to ER, and then A1 subunit of this Vibrio cholera inhibit or can cause ADP ribosylation at arginine of GDP subunit of G-alpha protein, and can activate adenylate cyclase, which convert ATP into CMP, and if there is activation of CMP, it can cause activation of CFTR channel that can release certain kind of ions outside the body of that individual, and that person can suffer from diarrhea. Other one is the Sigillosis, and the main microorganism, that is Shigella, sonnae and Flexneri, is responsible for it. Other one is acute gastroenteritis, Vibria parahemolyticus is the responsible organism for this disease. So thank you so much everyone. If you find this video beneficial for you, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe this channel for more such kind of videos. And if you have any query regarding this lecture, you can comment down below. Thank you so much.